So today, I would like you to actually not do anything particular. So far, I've just been using your thumb to fall in love with your thumb because it's available, it's easy, and it is funny. And it's a great way to learn meditation. That all you need is your thumb. But today, how about you just notice a stillness around your thumb? How about you just notice a stillness? And notice how, as you notice a stillness, your mind just falls into focus. Stillness is everywhere. And as you notice stillness, stay still and be present with the stillness, not needing anything. And notice how your mind becomes clear. Your thoughts stop. It's still. And it becomes clear. And as you stay, notice how it becomes bright. You don't need to do anything. Your mind might come in and say, oh, do I need to do anything? Or you might have some thoughts come in. And that is just stillness at work. Let that come and go. Stay with the stillness. Stay with the stillness and just notice the stillness getting brighter. And notice how it becomes denser. Notice how you don't need to focus on anything. It is everywhere. It's almost you want to grasp it. But don't. Because it is everywhere. Just enjoy the stillness. And somehow, as it gets brighter, the density, you might notice some parts of your body becoming stiffer. It's not becoming stiffer. The density, the energy is building. Stay with the stillness. Don't get distracted by the density that's building. At some point, you will breathe and you'll notice that the density eases. That is the energy starting to go through. That is stillness starting to go through. And it becomes easier. Then you will start feeling the energy. You will feel the charge spreading through your body. Again, don't pay attention to it. Just stay in stillness. Stay in stillness. Don't go to where it's uncomfortable. Stay where it's comfortable. Let the stillness do its work. Just stay present with the stillness. Rest in the stillness. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy the stillness that feels good. Don't go to the part of stillness that feels bad. You'll notice that if you do, you will lose the stillness. If you feel more stillness and spaciousness above, then go to where there is that stillness. If it is more below, then go below. Go to where it is more still. And let it spread. If you feel like you're getting distracted, you're not. Don't worry about it. We have this idea that we get distracted. No, stillness is just. If you don't get distracted by the idea that we got distracted, then we can just stay with stillness. And it is effortless. We feel guilty because it's so effortless, because it's everywhere. And let yourself feel guilty. It's okay. Let it come and go. Just stay in stillness. If you feel like you're having trouble staying in stillness, okay, that's also stillness doing its work. It's a part of your body being worked through by stillness. It is all part of stillness. Just to recognize that makes all the difference, because we stop resisting it and we can stay in stillness and we feel good. We have the certitude that it's okay, that we're not doing something wrong, that we don't need to pay attention, that we don't need to effort, that in our suffering, that we're still in the stillness, and just stay in the stillness. Through your suffering, through your thoughts, whatever comes up, you cannot be a part. Even if you're distracted away from it, you're still in the stillness. Hmm. As this is happening, a lot of you will feel like your headache's lifting, or your body clearing. You will feel the emotions lifting off. Or you might feel actually just some discomfort, and you might feel caught up with the discomfort, wherever that is. But if you're allowed to stay out here, if you allow yourself to stay out in the spaciousness, you'll notice that these discomforts is temporary. It's just the stillness working its way through, doing its job, bringing your body back into balance, bringing it back to stillness. Now you'll notice that you can just stay in the stillness, and we always do, but by becoming present with stillness as present as stillness is present with us, stillness is always present with us. It is like speaking to a lover who is always waiting for us. The moment we place our attention on stillness, we realize that stillness was always paying attention on us. We realize we have departed it, but stillness was always there for us, loyal to the very end, always there, ever present, always loving, absolutely. And so, in this experience, we get to understand that actually we can be loved back as much as we love it. And that's the experience of love. And that's how you fall in love with stillness all over again, by just this recognition. Stillness is always there for us, has always paid attention to us, and has always been there. And so, in this manner, be with stillness and embrace stillness. Understand that's always loyal and always waiting for you. And as this happens, you start realizing you don't ever want to be apart from stillness. It is the very thing that allows us to experience love, because it is the experience of love. And so we realize that the love that we experience between us is actually the stillness between us. The balance we receive or that we experience in our body is also the stillness we experience in our body. And with this, see how your life changes as you start realizing that you are loved by stillness, that it is the foundation, that stillness is always waiting. It is always loving you. And it's just waiting for you to place your attention back on it. And when you do, it's like two lovers gazing at each other with love. And that is the experience that we always seek, like a mother gazing at its child, looking straight into its eyes while holding it. And that experience that we experience since childhood is the experience of stillness. It just doesn't seem like it because it's still. How could emptiness be what we're looking for when we're hoping to be filled? But the hole that we're trying to fill is with emptiness, is with stillness. As you're experiencing it right now, as you're in stillness, it fills. Who would have thought that the hole that we're trying to fill, that sense of emptiness, gets actually filled with more emptiness? Counterintuitive. But it is not if we think in terms of ever-present love, infinite love. It is there already. It cannot be faltered. It cannot be destroyed. It is the foundation of all things. It's the foundation of all creation. When we stay in stillness, all the ideas and the inspiration comes. And so it is the very source of all things. And so in this place, because it is love. And so in this stillness, as you stay present with it, feel yourself filled. Notice how you just want to come back to the stillness. And as you start realizing that the yearning that you had wasn't for something, wasn't for somebody, it was just for the stillness. And as you connect with this and become filled and become fulfilled, you realize that whenever you're fulfilled, somehow the sense of stillness had entered in. Okay, that is a lesson for today. Now, conceptually, that is a practice. Conceptually speaking, this concept has to do with the kingdom of heaven. It is everywhere. It is in God's creation. And as we enter back into it, then we feel it. As the moment it is at hand, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, it is said. And so the moment you enter into it, you start realizing you are already in the kingdom. The kingdom has always been there. Actually, the interesting thing is that our state of mind is actually what determines what kingdom we enter into. Are we going to be with the prince of the world? Or are we going to be, and that's a euphemism for Satan and, if you will, the devil, the tempter. And basically, it is a world, or if you will, hell. It is a world where there is no stillness, there is no balance, there is no love. But stillness is infinite. It always was, is, and is to come. It was always present. And so in this place, actually, the moment you enter into it, you connect with all things that ever was and will be. And you enter into union and present with it. And out of that, all creativity comes out. All of abundance comes out of emptiness, because there's nothing that is more abundant than emptiness. It's an interesting thing. We wouldn't think that, but that's where it comes. So from a perspective of the scriptures that we read, it is to have this experience. And so as you read this, it gives you that experience. As you come into vastness, actually, if you come into a vista, if you have the experience of God, what you will notice is that this is a very personal experience. People think that stillness, somehow because of the description, is objective. But really, it's a very personal, subjective experience. And because it is the creation of all things, when you are in it, it speaks to you, it counsels you, it guides you, and it actually allows you to see 1,000 things that you never expected to see. It is at the source of creativity itself. Things spring out of it. And because of the connection, you are able to communicate with all things. And so, as you read, as you come into this experience, the experience is important because otherwise it's conceptual. As you come into the experience, you'll realize that as you're reading, you will understand what you're reading. And so what I'd like to say is that keep reading perspective with this experience in mind. And then I'd like to say that you will have even more profound experiences. So the scriptures are there to help you enter into these kind of significant experiences that puts you in awe, that connects you to the divine, that allows you to connect with the universe, all of that. But can you do that without stillness? Be still, for I am your God. So I'd like you to, when you read it, I would like you to read it from this experience. And actually, before you read, come into stillness. For otherwise, what are you reading? Because depending on what kingdom you entered, even if you read the same book, it will not be the same book. Have you ever thought about that? You will be in a different kingdom. So, the scriptures. Now, coming into the function of the practices. The practices actually, so we actually just did the function portion, the practicality of the practices, to have the experience of the divine. And so we covered the function. Now coming to the approach. The journaling will help you actually empty out whatever thoughts you have. As you come into stillness, it will help you empty things out. If it doesn't empty out, then you are basically propelling and creating more fear. So be cautious. See as you journal whether you become more still and spacious. As you were in stillness, you probably experienced this feeling of emptying out. If you don't have the sensation of emptying out when you're journaling, then the journaling is ineffective. So however you journal, whether you do the DSST or whatever it is you're doing, make sure that you have this feeling of emptying out and then being filled by this fulfillment. And make your decisions from this place. Wait until you feel stillness. We make so many bad decisions because we make them before we are still, before we experience unity, before we experience love. Once we are here, there's clarity. We know what to do. Let the fear pass. Be in the kingdom. If you make a decision while you're afraid, something good can come out of it anyways. Have faith in love. Have faith in this emptiness, this stillness. And that concludes how it relates to the entire system.